Hey guys, it's postboxpat. Welcome back to a brand new map change video, and today I'm going to be going over all of the map changes in today's update version 8.10. So this is going to be pretty exciting. I've got a bunch of map changes to show you guys. Also, for the two major changes that we received in this update, which aren't exactly map changes but they are game changes. I guess they can be classed as map changes, but they're more of kind of like consumable items. All consumable items that include shields, bandages, bush, whatever it is, have a new animation, which is really awesome, and also the new baller, which is spawned at a variety of different locations, including all of the old outposts that still remain, and Frosty Flights and a bunch of other different spots on the map. So feel free to go and try out the baller. It's pretty awesome. I am really enjoying it. Also, thanks for everybody who's been using my supporter creator code. Let's go and try and hit 2,500 supporters with that supporter creator code. Shout out to everybody on screen who's been entering in that supporter creator code. If you guys would like a shout out in future videos, you guys can simply go and do that by entering in my supporter creator code postboxpat into the item shop, tweet me at postboxpat, or message me in my Discord section, or commenting down below that you are supporting me as a creator. It'll be awesome if we can get as many supporters as possible. You know, it's amazing to have so many people support this reliable channel, which I always try and produce reliable and legitimate content for you guys. So if you want to stay tuned for all that sort of stuff, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and stay tuned, because it is awesome to produce this sort of content for you guys. Anyway, let's pop straight into this and show you guys all of the map changes that we've received today. So the first one is actually over at Tilted Towers. Now this is a pretty interesting map change. I'm pretty excited for this one because it's a brand new building, which, if you guys don't know already, at the start of season 8 was completely rebuilt instantly, and on the last day of season 7 the building actually got destroyed by an earthquake. So it was interesting to see how the building popped up so quickly. Now the building itself, to me, we don't 100% know what it's going to be, but we're going to take a minute or so to try and work out what this building is going to be and go over exactly what we've got. So in the bottom layer down here, we've actually got a brand new car park, which is awesome. I did predict this at the start of season 8, and all the parking seems to be reserved. It looks similar to the Save the World car parks. If you've played Save the World, I think it's really nice. It's a really nice design to a car park, and it's interesting to see on the front it says permit parking only, and if not, you will be towed away. So obviously this could be some sort of business rather than shopping place or shopping center. We're not 100% sure yet. So once you've parked up, you can follow up these stairs here, and that'll take you straight into the business, or you can go up the outside stairs over here where maybe the public parking is and enter in through this way. So when you head in here, I get the kind of vibe that it potentially could be maybe like a hospital, police station, that sort of thing. But then I see this desk over here, which reminds me of the villain and superhero base, and then on the right hand side I also see this TV, which reminds me of the news center. So I'm still not 100% sure what this building is going to be just by kind of inspecting it over here. We also have a kitchen in the back over here, which is interesting. So we'll follow the stairs up to the next floor and go in here. Looks like we have a storage location here, and this floor isn't 100% constructed yet. Obviously it's not been designed. That will be designed throughout the next few weeks to see exactly what this floor is going to be, because it's a pretty kind of empty floor with nothing really on it. It kind of just skips it with the stairs going to the next floor. Maybe they're going to keep that empty. So on the third floor, looks like we have another kitchen and maybe some sort of offices under construction or news center. I'm still not 100% sure what this could possibly be, but it's nice to see that the construction is on its way. I do really like playing in these construction areas because people just don't understand their way around, because it changes all the time and you can really do some good trolls with traps. I've been doing that recently on some of the competition type game modes, the competitive side of stuff, and doing pretty well. And then obviously on the final floor, it's still fully under construction. We also had the balcony over here, which still is kind of a really good landing spot if you want to gain access to this building. So yeah, the building is on its way. Also, the texture on the outside has changed. We now have two new brand new drain pipes on the side, and also the complete texture at the bottom down here has changed as well. So the building is on its way to being fully complete. I assume by week 6 or 7 the building may be fully constructed and we'll finally know what's inside of it, and hopefully it doesn't get destroyed by a season 8 event. So we'll have to see what's going to happen over there. Let's keep on moving through and showing you guys the map changes, because we still have a bunch of other map changes to cover in today's video, and the next one is actually over at Snobby Shores. Now to me, this is probably one of the most interesting map changes we've had in a very long time, because it looks like the Vikings are taking over Snobby Shores. Now I'm not 100% sure if this is the Vikings or not, but from what I can tell, I personally believe this is the Vikings. I don't know exactly if it is, but you know, comment down below what you think. I feel like this here clearly is the Vikings. You know, you look at this and then you go up here and look what they've got up here. It kind of just looks the same sort of design, the same sort of structure, same sort of flag, I guess, kind of same sort of design. So clearly they could be moving. which is interesting. I'm pretty excited about it because something that I've noticed over here which they've done is they've actually decided to rebuild this structure, which we'll take a little look on the inside. But where did they get all the materials from to build this kind of barn type thing which they've built? Well, what they did, the Vikings, is they actually trashed the bunker. The entire bunker over here, which used to be here in Snobby Shores, has completely been destroyed by the Vikings. They've decided to rip it apart, take bits out of it and put it into their build, which I think is a very unique thing which Fortnite have never done before. It's kind of like the Vikings are trashing Snobby Shores, and there is something interesting which I have noticed relating to that. There are 5 buildings in Snobby Shores in total. You know, you look, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on week 2 now, on the week 2 update, heading into week 3. If you actually calculate all these buildings, this would be something that Fortnite could do, which would be really cool. The Vikings taking over Snobby Shores, look at this. So week 2, which we're still on now, then week 4, week 6, week 8, and week 10. Now this is only a prediction from me, but I think it would be awesome if Epic did do this, because they could completely redesign Snobby Shores, giving it a completely different vibe, and then they'd be able to remove the Viking base from on top of the hill and put something else up here by removing this, because the Vikings have moved in down here, which I think would be pretty cool. And would make sense as well to the idea of maybe the snow melting and maybe the boats melting, so they want to get out of here before all this kind of like melts and gets destroyed by maybe some sort of water or something. So maybe Snobby Shores is a good location for them to move to. Still not 100% sure why that exactly would be, but you know, it's pretty cool, and I think if they did move here, it would be unique to kind of get Snobby Shore completely changing the vibe. Again, Snobby Shores has been completely revamped on that left side. I recommend landing there and checking it out. It is pretty cool. The villain base here on the right, I didn't actually mention it in the first week of Season 8's map change videos, but it has been completely destroyed. I'm not going to go over it because you guys have probably already checked it out, but yes, I forgot to mention it. It's pretty cool. I know a few people were commenting on it. It was just one thing. I didn't really want to make a video just on one thing, but yeah, that has changed, just for those people wondering. So we keep moving this direction. There is a brand new block which has been added into the game, a brand new secret cave, which has a really cool addition to it. This, to me, is the best block that we've received so far within Season 8. The other 2 blocks, to me, just didn't vibe at all. The symmetrical design on blocks just doesn't work for me, but this design is absolutely amazing. I love the way they've kind of got an open section over here and the way it kind of just gets busier and busier. It's kind of hard to look at because there's so much going on, but I think that's what I like about it. You can really focus in on one point. Most people will focus in straight on the skull when you're looking at this, but as I'm looking at this still image right now, I'm actually focusing in on the statue and the tree. So that would be this statue here and the tree, and looking at all the detail around there. Depending on what your eye goes towards, I know most people will go towards the skull straight away, but if you actually start to look at this block, the detail and depth that has been put into it is a lot, and you could really analyze it, and I could go over it probably for about 40 minutes talking about everything in here, which I don't really want to do. I know a lot of people do like me doing stuff like that, but I don't want to drag everything about this block, because I'll just point out some of the best details that I have noticed by looking at. I've been looking at this block, bear in mind, for about 30 minutes before I did this video, because I kind of know everything about it already, but this is something I really like, the way they put the trees inside the bushes. They've done that in a few different places around the block. It's kind of a cool technique to do, kind of gives the tree maybe more of kind of a bottom vibe type thing. Here they look like they've kind of done it, but they've misplaced it, but I think that's something that's pretty detailed and something to note, the way they're putting like plants inside the tree. When they're actually building the skull as well, something noticeable about this is they're actually merging the rocks together to create these sort of shapes. This would have took a very long time, and same with the vines as well, they're actually inside. So there's been a lot of detail and thought gone into this. The outside buildings aren't too complicated to build. I think a lot of people could build these. They're pretty simple to build, and the detail gone into them is still pretty high. I didn't expect them to put that much detail inside of them. Chest spawns, I haven't really focused looking for them, but there's one noticeable mention which I do want to mention for you guys, and that's actually if you go inside the main skull and you just go up these stairs, there is a master chest, as I like to call it. So a very good chest where you can gain access to a guaranteed legendary weapon every single time. So feel free to land the block this week, because you will definitely gain access to that. Also, for those wondering, you're going to guaranteed stone from this, so you'll get max stone by landing here. You can even land on top of the head, grab this chest, start mining this tree and start mining the stone, and you'll be guaranteed 500 stone and wood near enough in no time. Again, not much metal here, so you're not going to gain access to hardly any metal. To be honest, there aren't many metal spawns on the map at the moment, so I'm hoping to someone to make a block which has equal amount of mats, so I can land there, get instant 1,500 mats, and get battling in Fortnite Battle Royale with mats materials. But yeah, this block is really nice. When I take a look at the back of it as well, I feel like the way they've curved it and built a building around the skull is a very nice design. It's kind of like it's holding setting up the skull as kind of like a scaffolding type thing. I really do like that. I definitely recommend if anyone wants to build a block like this, you can go and attempt that. I'm not too sure if you can get underneath. Sometimes when they do this sort of stuff, you can actually glitch underneath here, which I think is quite a cool thing. We saw that with the Chinese New Year block, which was really nice, and I thought that was a pretty cool, not exactly intentional, but I think it was interesting to see. And I was actually thinking of building a block like this because I know I could do something like this. The downside with me trying to do something like this, I just wouldn't have the time to physically upload videos, so I don't think I'll ever get around to building a block like this. But I know personally, with my building skills from Minecraft and from what I've built previously, I know I could do something like this with a lot of time put into it. I know I just don't have that physical time to be able to do that. But yeah, the block's really nice. The water design as well, with the water kind of flowing through, is just awesome. So well done to this week's block creator. Here you can see his name. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce that. Is it Prudis or Prundis? I'm not 100% sure, but well done for you creating this block. It's absolutely awesome. I think it's an amazing design. So moving on to the final map change of today's video, which is an interesting map change and something which not many people picked up on. I actually got sent this one on Twitter. I knew it had already changed anyway because I've already logged in, but a few people have been sending me this, to be fair, on Twitter and Discord. I know people have sent it me all the time and keep me up to date with this, but something to mention which is interesting is the brand new Rock Lady and Rock Man have been fully constructed and are now signaling something that potentially could happen. For those wondering, throughout season 7, the rock people did signal things and kind of hinted towards events. The downside is these rock people unfortunately don't spawn in unless I actually get them to render in. So give me a little bit of time, I will get these to render in right now and show you guys exactly what I mean by that. So winding it on like this allows me to get them to render in. Just check where I am on the map, where I'm coming in, and you'll notice if I follow my character, the rock lady will soon render in just around here. If I wind it on a little bit, she should render in perfectly fine, and there we are, she's rendered in there. So nicely done. You know, it's annoying when these things don't render in because I like to get them to render in quick, but it's just the way Fortnite works, and it's interesting to see. We'll mention something about that rendering right now because, you know, with the rendering side of stuff, what it can hint towards is these people are going to move, or they're going to have a different position next week, which could hint something towards week 4 or week 5 technically. Cross between them basically. But anyway, here is the female version. She is kind of signaling something. She's kind of saluting towards the volcano, like, why have you done this? Why have you separated us? Or she's signaling that something's going to come out of the volcano, or just has come out of the volcano. For example, the week 2 loading screen with the eggs cracking. So she's kind of signaling that towards the volcano. Another noticeable mention to mention as well before we go over to the male version of the rock people is the eggs haven't actually cracked in game. We know on the week 2 loading screen they have cracked open, but they don't seem to have cracked open in game. Now finally, at the Rockman, who's located just outside of Tomato Temple, and what I'm trying to get at with this guy is kind of fully built now, as you can see, and he also is signaling something towards the volcano, kind of like a rage type thing, or like he's ready to battle it or battle something that's going to come out of it. An interesting thing to note there, that is, he is in a position ready to fight, that I can tell anyway. He doesn't look like he's crying like previous versions of him. He definitely looks like he's ready for a battle. So is he kind of indicating that maybe it's going to erupt, maybe something's going to come out of it, maybe he's just raging at it because it's separated him and his female stone person over on the other side. So, you know, interesting to see. Moving on from them, we actually have 2 more map changes to show you guys, and the next one is actually this tribal location, which is just located outside of Sunny, and you can go down here, you notice we have this new tribal type thing here. It's pretty interesting to see because they're kind of like worshipping a burnt out llama, or already been eaten by the looks of it, and it's not very nice to see. A rip to our llama friend there, but yeah, interesting stuff what's going on here. We have these kind of like little tribal huts. I don't think you can get inside of them, but you can get, well, I guess you can because there's an ammo box there, so maybe you can actually go inside of these huts and you can get access to the chest as well. Nice little addition. Another chest there potentially, and another chest. So potentially a triple chest spawn here, and is there an ammo box in here? So we get some decent loot landing at this. So consider that, guys. You want to land here. I guess this is probably for a challenge, but I'm not 100% sure exactly. So interesting to see this being added in. Pretty exciting. Hopefully we get a few more additions in this kind of huge forest section over here. It's really difficult to kind of navigate around, in my opinion, especially in the replay mode, to remember where everything is, just because it looks so similar. But yeah, nice to see this being added in. I really do like it. And then the final map change I've got for you guys, which has to be the best map change of today's video, you know, just because of the storyline between Durburger and Tomato Head, is probably one of my favorite storylines in Fortnite Battle Royale. So the storyline video between Durburger and Tomato Head is up on my channel, which shows the entire kind of huge battle between them up to this point. And obviously the new addition that we have in today's update is that Pizza Pits, or Uncle Pizza, I always get these mixed up. Uncle Pete's Pizza Pit, I'm just going to call it Tomato Town, has officially been upgraded a little bit. We now have it expanding over to the basketball course, which is amazing information for all the Tomato Head fans out there. Myself loves pizza, so I guess I have to be a fan of both of them, but this is pretty awesome. I do really like what they've done with it. So on the inside, we can see we now have kind of a railing down here, which is kind of where you line up to collect your pizza. We now have a bigger section for pizzas. We also have some balloons with a chest on here, kind of like celebrating this store's expansion, and it won't be long potentially before we see these maybe even doubling up, so maybe even making a second story, and potentially that would be pretty interesting to see something like that happen. Will that happen to Der Burger? That'll be close because it will be quite tight to this, so maybe not 100% to Der Burger, but definitely it could happen to the Tomato Town over here. So it's really interesting. Also, the basketball court has been completely wiped now out of Retail Row, and it has now been replaced with some chairs and tables outside. Kind of a bit daft just to have one randomly in the middle. They could have easily put some against this fence here, against this fence here, maybe moved that along to there, and then have that plant there in that corner, and I had like two against there, rather than just have one there, because to me, you know, maybe it just seems a bit daft, because obviously people may want to come here and get some food, and there's not that many seats. There are a lot of seats inside though, obviously because of the expansion. We have a bunch of new chairs added on the inside, so it's exciting stuff seeing that these restaurants are really starting to kind of take place and take shape. Interestingly enough, we finally have the expansion, so hopefully we will see more expansions throughout the weeks. You know, it doesn't happen every single weekly expansion. Obviously, within week 8, the first expansion that we saw, sorry, not week 8, season 8, week 1, the first expansion that we saw was this building actually get 2 bigger. And not many people at all picked up on it, but it had officially been announced for the week 1 of season 8, and it did happen. And obviously, in week 2 or week 3, kind of, I guess like the first update, 8.1, we now have an expansion for Pizza Pete. But I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you are new around here, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button, that notification bell to keep up to date with the latest Fortnite content, storyline content wise, and map change content wise, and also any difficult challenges or kind of information type things. Like the other day I showed you guys how to gain access to your season 7 recap video, stuff like that I cover on my channel instantly for you guys, so you may as well just hit that subscribe button. You don't have to hit the notification bell, but if you want to keep up to date with it instantly, you can, and it is awesome to see loads of you guys supporting my channel. Also, go and use that support creator code postboxpat. Maybe if you just use it on one of your items that you purchase, or have several creators on your support creator code, it's up to you guys what you want to do, but it's awesome if you guys go and support me, because it just shows support the channel, and it means I can upgrade more equipment, and I am starting slowly to upgrade stuff, so it's really exciting, and I am hoping to get more content out in the future. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and once again, this is postboxpat signing out.